and we all have resolutions about the way we want to live our lives. And I remember the pair of box lunches from January last year, which was the first time Margaret and Gregg collaborated on this idea. It was just so inspiring to me personally. So I've been looking forward to this for quite a long time, and I'm so grateful to be part of our Fusion School family. So thank you.
Oh, it's great to see more friends. I know a lot of you. I don't know every single one of you though, so if I haven't met you or shaken your hand before this, come see me afterwards. I'd love to meet you. This turns out to be a much huger gift for me than it is for anybody else, and it got started because anybody who knows Gregg Pauley knows that he loves to talk, you know, and he's got a lot of opinions, and he's got yeah, okay, so there are a few people here that know him. He's got a lot of opinions, and he also has a very deep practice, much longer term practice than mine is by a long stretch. So here's a man who has chosen a single point of focus for himself in his life and has gone into it. So my first piece of advice for you is if you know somebody who's like that about anything, get talking to them and just start to do the same kind of conversation that it turns out I've done with Gregg. This thing, I think, will never stop between us now. And we use this now for the second year in a row. We use a kind of an excuse to help us form a conversation toward a point. So we've been talking about this now for another 11 months since the last one that we were done with. He's sorry he couldn't be here today. He wanted to be here today. So I have my iPad going over there, and I'm recording it for him. And I'm, hopefully it'll come out okay. And I'll play it for him, and he'll get to find out what I said about it first of all. And we'll see if that changes anything about what he does next week. Can everybody hear okay? By the way, I should stop and ask about that. So, a little louder. Thank you. Last year, we talked a little bit about form at the beginning of this talk, so I want to say a little bit more about that again. The form of box lunch is, it's a wonderful form. It's been going for how many years now?
24.
Wow. Okay. So another long-term practice. I love the form of it. It's understood that it's at lunchtime. So you're bringing your lunch, you're rattling your wax paper, you're cracking open your drinks. This is perfect for a program on listening meditation. So I don't want anyone to hesitate to be noisy with their food or their containers or whatever today. And similarly, people are coming and going. People come when they can, and if they have to leave, then they stand up and go. So don't hesitate to do that. To stand up, make a little noise, even if I'm doing some kind of guiding meditation or whatever. You stand up, you leave. That's the form. So it's wonderful for a lunchtime gathering, and it makes it very inviting and accessible to come and go and to be exposed to whatever it is we're talking about on a given Thursday at lunchtime. Today's topic is listening with new ears. But you got the same old ones you brought with you today. It's not a new device on the sides of your head, right? What could that mean? So let's do a little practice together, and then we'll talk about listening with new ears, and then we'll do a little more practice after you get a chance to hear about it, think about it, and consider some of the things I want to say about it. So just for 3 minutes, just becoming comfortable in your seat for sitting relatively still for just about 3 minutes. when I tell you to just become comfortable and sit still, you can notice that your attention moves to the physical posture that you've chosen for yourself. And you might notice that it feels good to shift this or adjust that. You're bringing attention to your physical sensations. And you may notice the feeling of a body sitting in the chair. How do you know about that? There's feelings of pressure on your seat, against the back of the chair. Maybe the act of gravity on your feet. Feeling of clothing on skin. Maybe you notice that you're breathing. You come into contact with present moment experience, whatever that is. Maybe you notice a lot of thoughts happening, or a particular attitude or emotion, one you brought with you or one that's just arising right now. You could say, you show up. Once you kind of set a foundation this way, you can choose an object to turn attention to, a specific object. Just for right now, we're going to move our attention to sound. So just noticing the act of hearing. Just noticing how sounds happen in the environment and how they register somewhere in the eardrum. And we can see that we can have access to whether these sounds are happening close or far away. Begin to notice sounds that are steady or intermittent. Maybe even become aware of our reactions to sound. Noticing how some we might label as welcome or pleasant, and others as unwelcome, unpleasant. And perhaps become aware of the cognitive that comes after thought, maybe some commentary about thought. The practice is to notice all of this and to continue to come back to the pure experience of hearing, however that is for you right now. Just listening. Just aware of the arrival of all the different kinds of sounds. As we're finishing, maybe taking a moment to come back to the sensations in your body. Just doing another check-in, noticing your breath, aware of any tension or relaxation in the body. Doing a little review of the effect of sitting quietly, paying attention in this way. It's just good to capture this for yourself. Might be some information about it that you're interested to take with you and do something about. So if your eyes are closed, you can open them now. So just a little listening meditation, and if you grab a piece of paper from the music stand coming in, there are two there. One's got a great listing of what's coming up, along with some information about today's program. And then the other one is your homework sheet, okay? We don't come to a session with Margaret Fletcher without getting some homework. Some people who have been through my sessions know about this. So what Gregg and I are both interested in having you do is to do some of this practice. Maybe 10 minutes of it every day for the next 6 days, and then to come back next week. And I'll lead a short guided meditation like I just did before Gregg plays next week. So we'll do the practice again. There'll probably some people show up who are not here today. We'll practice together again, and then he's going to give us instruction this year about the different pieces that he's going to play and ways of listening. So I want to start, after we've done this practice, by just talking about the different ways of listening. We just did a way of listening, and I'm going to kind of get to that one at the end. But really, what Gregg and I are interested in having happen next week is to bring a particular way of listening to the concert. So we have to think about that. What are the ways of listening? The modes of listening, you could say. So, first of all, there's just kind of the garden variety normal kind of listening that we walk around with. Your ears are, you're kind of open to the environment, and you're also open to lots of other things that you're dealing with, like activity that you're doing, thoughts that might be coming and going, interactions that you're having, just moving around, all of the stuff that's moving around you in the world, watching out for traffic and so forth. So there's a little bit of attention that's always capable of hearing things. But again, it's kind of in a mix of a lot of other senses that are also engaged in the world too. So this is a question for you to take with you this week. What percentage of my attention is directed toward hearing at any given time? It'll come up and down, it'll fluctuate. But it's a small percentage. That's fine. It's part of the mix that you need to walk around with to kind of work in the world. We'll call that normal listening. Okay, we'll come up with a language for you to take with you for the week. So then there's kind of I'll call it minimal listening. So think about driving for a second. How you can be driving and you're paying attention to driving, and then maybe you drift in thought somewhere else. And like 3 miles down the road, you find yourself, 3 miles down the road, you find yourself, right? You kind of wake up. Yes? People have that experience, you know what I'm talking about? It's okay to admit it, because I think it happens to all of us. It sounds terrible, doesn't it? But it happens. And, there's something that's functioning safely on that highway. You're fine. But you were on autopilot between here and there, weren't you? And it's possible to be this way with listening as well, in a kind of an autopilot way. Maybe because you're very focused on something else. So you're so focused on engagement, say, with